Hello everyone, welcome to my Furby video. I haven't decided 100% what I'm going to call it yet, but I'm thinking Furby Restoration in all caps would be a good title, although it is a bit of an exaggeration because it's just like cleaning them a little bit and minor repairs. I'm not going to be skinning them to deep clean them or replacing electronics or anything like that. Sorry if you can hear them moving around. I know it's kind of loud. This was mostly filmed yesterday, but also partially today. I have two Furbies that I am working on in this video, and one of them is this Furby Baby from the year 2000. It actually matches my hair a little bit, which is not on purpose, but it's a fun coincidence. And the other one is my Long Furby. Sorry, he's so loud. I made him like almost 7 years ago now, so he's been with me a while. But I'll talk more about them in the video while I am working on them, so hopefully you enjoy. I'm starting with my Furby Baby. Her official name is Flower Bud. I haven't decided if I'm going to pick my own name for her or just keep the official one because it is cute, but if you have any name suggestions, let me know. As you can see, I am starting by brushing out her little mohawk using a pet hairbrush, which is what I've heard is the best thing to use for faux fur, but please let me know if there's a better way I could be doing it. Some more about Flower Bud. If you know anything about Furbies, you know that they are incredibly hard to find in person and can get pretty expensive looking for them online. But I was at a local thrift store the other day just looking at the toy bin, and I looked up at the shelf above and saw her right in front of me for only $149. I'm so serious when I say that this is one of the luckiest things that's ever happened to me, especially because I found her right after a not so great weekend. I'm just still so happy and in disbelief about it. When I was checking out, the worker was like, freaking Furby, oh my god, you know. And then on the bus home, someone whose purse was shaped like a horse, by the way, said cool Furby, and we had a little conversation about how hard they are to find and all that. It was, I don't know, it was great. I'm so glad I found her. She is missing one eyelash, which I don't think I need to replace it. I think it gives her character. But if somehow anyone knows where they sell replacement eyelashes for Furbies, if that's even a thing, or how to make them, let me know and I might check it out. I'm also thinking about just gluing on like a fun, crazy false lash. Now I am moving on to my Long Furby that I made back in early 2019, very much inspired by the video that Strange Ants put out in November of 2018. You can see he's definitely a little rough around the edges. I didn't know as much about sewing as I do now, so I definitely did not add enough seam allowance. The base Furby I got at a flea market for around $5, I think. It is a first generation Witch's Cat Furby from 1998. I named him Rainbow Sherbet, or maybe it's Rainbow Sorbet. I don't remember, but I do have a necklace with his name on it, though it is lost in my room somewhere, so I will find out which one it was once I find that. So I'm giving his fur a good brushing just to start with. When I got closer to the end of him, I found a part of his spine that had popped apart. I tried to put it back together then, but I actually just ended up fixing that a little bit later when I opened up his back. So here's where I am fixing the spine. I took off the safety pins that were keeping the opening in his back together, and I just ended up sticking my hand in to move all the fluff out of the way to put his spine back together. I also then just straightened out in the rest of his spine and pulled it up back against his skin, where it had started to kind of get lost in the middle of the stuffing. And now I am repairing all of the little holes And I did do it in a way that makes it pretty obvious that he has been stitched back together. And I'm sure there is a way to do it that is more subtle, but I like to use a thicker thread and to have visible mending. Plus, it is kind of Frankenstein-esque, in my opinion. I know that I am working on Rainbow Sherbet right now, and it's his time, but one thing about Flower Bud is that she still moves around perfectly fine, but her voice doesn't work anymore, so she doesn't make any noise. I don't know anything at all about electronics, so I don't know if there's a way to fix that, but if somehow somebody knows how to do that, just like with the eyelash thing, let me know. For the bottom, I decided to just stitch all the way around, even though the entire part wasn't coming out, but I thought it would be best just to reinforce all of it. And I just used a blanket stitch, which is what I used before, but again, I am giving it a little bit more seam allowance instead of just doing it right at the edges, which is why it started to come apart at the first place. Here's what his spine looks like, for anyone wondering. It's some kind of tubing. I have no idea what it's supposed to be used for, but I use it for my Furby spine. So now I'm just unscrewing the battery compartment to replace the batteries, which I have not done in years, so I was not sure if it would still work or not, or what the condition was, but I am very happy to say that he does still talk and move around. I had barely even started screwing the lid back on, and he already started to move around. I honestly should have probably waited till the end or very end to replace the batteries, just to make it a little easier to work with, but I was just too excited to see if he still works. I was watching YouTube while I was working on this, so I did not include the sound, but I will show you what he sounds like in a little bit, so don't worry. So now I'm sewing buttons onto the edge of the hole in his back. I had originally just glued on some Velcro, which did not work very well because the fur just kept getting stuck to it. And then I eventually just safety pinned it together for the time being, and the time being was a few years ago, and now I'm finally getting to it. But yeah, so I decided the buttons would just be the easiest. Before I added the buttonholes, I trimmed down the fur a little bit just to make it a little bit easier to work with. I did just hand sew the buttonholes. My sewing machine is heavy duty, but I don't know, this is a weird texture and shape. It was just easy to hand sew it. I'm not exactly the best at doing buttonholes. I kind of hate doing it. So they are not of the highest quality, but it works and that's all that matters. While I was working on the first buttonhole, I lost the needle somewhere in my bed and could not find it anywhere. I ended up just grabbing another one, and then later that day, I found the needle on the other side of my bed somehow. Here it is, all done. Definitely a little bit messy, but it works, so it's okay. And he did want to talk to you guys, so ignore the background noise. Here's what he has to say. Also, one of the strings on his toes came off, so I just quickly fix that up too. Now back to Flowerbud. I'm cleaning off her fur. I'm using a toothbrush and some soapy water. I saw online that people recommended using a toothbrush, and my mom suggested using Dawn dish soap. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not like an expert at this at all. So if you have any recommendations for what to use to clean a Furby, let me know. This did work pretty well. I know that the best way to clean their skin is to like take it off and then like deep clean it, but I did not feel like doing that. Maybe I will eventually, but I think it's fine for now. And then my cat decided that she wanted to come help me, and right after this, my phone ran out of storage and it stopped recording. But that is pretty much all that I did yesterday. So now it is the next day, and the last thing that I had to do was just lint roll over his stomach to get off all the random fuzz and threads that were stuck to him. And here he is, lounging elegantly in the backyard. And Flowerbud 2 looking very clean and beautiful. So that was my Furby video. They keep interrupting me every time I'm trying to film this. Okay. I've been into Furbies for a long time, but I only own a few myself. So if anyone has advice or tips on cleaning, repairing, or just generally taking care of Furbies, please let me know. I would love to hear. I am also thinking about making Mr. Rainbow Sherbert a little battle jacket so that he can twin with me. This is my battle jacket. It still has a lot of empty space, but I have been working on it for a long time. Yeah, so I thought that would be cute. If you're maybe interested in seeing that, let me know. I'm thinking about making a video about it. Subscribe if you want to. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, my username is the same as it is here. And I probably will be Furby posting soon. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.